What's going on? Pardon me. I am moving super sloppy today. I don't know what's going on. Super sloppy. I'm not even going to play no music in the beginning of this show. I just had to restart the show because I forgot to cut off the music. And I was talking over the music, and I know it was driving you guys crazy. So I'm just going to get into the show. But before I get into the show, I need you guys to please share out the show. Retweet it. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching via YouTube, take the link, text it to your friends. If you're watching on Facebook, put it on your personal page. Start a watch party in a group. Share it out. The more people who know what's going on with this movement, the better we are. And as you know, I'm sipping my chlorophyll water. I got to pay attention to these chat groups because you guys be talking to me and I don't be paying attention. You guys be trying to tell me important things and I don't be paying attention. But I need you guys to share this out. Very important show today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this whole Breonna Taylor injustice. This Breonna Taylor situation, huge injustice. Breonna Taylor decision. What is wanton endangerment? The charge one Louisville officer faces. Now, first and foremost, I would like to say the powers that be knew that this type of outcome was going to happen. I mean, they cleared out the city. They shut down all the stores, boarded up the windows, everything. So make no mistake about it that the powers that be already knew what the outcome of this case was going to be. But why do we continue to let this system treat us like this? That's what I'm confused about. Why do we continue to allow this system to treat us like this? Can someone please answer that? Why do we allow the system to continue to treat us like this? And what is wanton endangerment? Wanton endangerment. And I got it pulled up here, and I'm gonna read it off to you guys. What wanton endangerment is in Kentucky, wanton endangerment is a Class D felony. A person of wanton endangerment in the first degree under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life. He wantonly engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. This is what that police officer was charged with. Only one police officer. Only one police officer was charged with something called wanton endangerment. How is that going to lead to justice? Now, how many years does this charge carry? A person convicted of a Class D felony generally faces 1 to 5 years in prison for each count. So Breonna Taylor's life is only worth 5 years. The sister life is only worth 5 years. How is that justice? And when will we as a people take a real stance? Because I mean, it's just crazy out here. These police officers are getting away with literal murder on black people. We not even go sugarcoat it. We're not going to do any of that. And you know, I've been hearing the argument of, why White people get killed too by the police. It's true. White people do get killed by the police. I can't argue that. But there's always a but. When white people get killed by the police, they get justice. Those police officers get charged accordingly. You have never seen wanton endangerment when a police officer kills someone white. They get justice. Why you think that when white people do get killed by the police, they not marching and doing all this other stuff? Because they know they're going to get justice. The problem that we have is that we don't get justice. And that's the problem. That's a major problem. I mean, it's crazy here. It's crazy here. And speaking of more injustices that's going on, and you guys know, for all the new viewers here, we touch on issues that affect our jobs in New York City, MTA, NYPD, Santa, whatever the case may be. We touch on different jobs that affect us here, and not only here, because I have listeners all across the country in all different types of agencies, transportation agencies, and we communicate, and we notice that the fight that's happening here is also happening there. So it's good to have those guys tune in also. But this injustice, major injustice. After train operator loses baby and sues MTA, changes are finally coming for pregnant workers. This is a lie. This is a flat out lie. The only thing the MTA did was have a meeting, had another meeting, and nothing was done. What changes are coming? This is business as usual for the MTA. There's no changes coming. And why did it take for one of my coworkers to lose her baby before this change? Because we can't act like the MTA didn't know about this prior. These issues been here. Women been on the property for the better part of 50, 60 years. The MTA act like women just fell out of the sky yesterday and they don't know what to do with them. They don't know that they could get pregnant. They don't know anything. The MTA is still dropping the ball because there is no change in place. This is a simple fix. You guys got thousands of office positions. A pregnant woman don't need to be on no train, climbing up no train, driving a bus, especially with assaults up high, pulling garbage, climbing, operating trains, working around chemicals. The MTA been knew about this, but they refused to do anything about it. Now, I'm going to bring something up from 2019. I'm going to play this video from 2019 to show you guys that the MTA knew about it. Check it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Progressive action made the May 2019 MTA board book. See that?
Right.
Out of 29 speakers, we made the book.
I do.
That's dope.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The MTA knew about it right there. I brought it up to them in 2019. Not only in 2019, I brought it up to them in 2017. I brought it up in 2018. Just happened in 2019. I just happened to find it inside their little book. So they knew what it was about, and they failed to do anything. Nothing. But this is what we dealing with. Now, I know a lot of people is probably saying, well, what about your union? Hold on, before I get into that, I need you guys to please share out this live. Share it out. If you're watching on YouTube, take the link and share it out. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on Facebook, I need you guys to share it out to your personal page, your group page, wherever you at, I need you guys to share it out. Let me do that myself. Give me 1 second. Oh, and if you guys want to call in, the number is 347-464-2880. 347-464-2880 if you want to have a conversation. Wait, what's going on here? Let me share this out. Yeah, I got to share it out right now. Let me share this out. Yeah, so I know a lot of people are saying, well, you guys got a union. Why isn't your union doing anything about it? The union motto, just like the MTA motto is reactive instead of proactive. There shouldn't be no reason in the year 2020 that a pregnant woman is lost her baby because there's no reasonable accommodation for women on this job. It's no way possible. Absolutely no way possible. But look what the union president had to say. And we need to examine this and see who's representing us. Utano said the union always has women in mind when it comes to the bargaining table. He points out that in 2012, it secured 2 weeks of leave for men and women after a baby is born. Now check this out right here. Look, let me read this next line. 2 weeks sounds short, but he said it's better than what they had before, which was nothing. Listen to what the president of the union said. 2 weeks sounds short, but he said it's better than what they had before. How can a union president disrespect and say demeaning stuff like that to women? How can he say that? In other words, he's saying that you're lucky to have the 2 weeks. Then he said the 2 weeks sound short. The 2 weeks sound short, but it's better than nothing. This is a union president speaking for women on this job. He said 2 weeks sound short. When someone say it sounds short, they are insinuating that it's not short. So 2 weeks sounds short, huh, Utano? Let's see how short 2 weeks really is. If someone tell you to go fast for 2 weeks and not eat any food, just drink chlorophyll water. Let's see how short 2 weeks really is then. Why didn't you show the MTA how short 2 weeks is while we were dying and getting sick because of COVID? Why didn't you just shut down the system for 2 weeks? Sounds short, right? It sounds short, right? Why didn't you just shut down the system for 2 weeks since it sounds so short? Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have no representation here. We seen this union fail us on every level. When it comes to contracts, remember, when it comes to contracts, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. We seen this union fail us when it came to safety. Look how many workers got sick and died due to this pandemic. This union fell us with discipline every single day. This union fell us with workers' compensation every single day. Yes, we have a union in theory, but we don't have no union. We don't have a union. We don't have a union. Utano need to retire and go about his business. In fact, Stand United as a whole need to go about their business. They failed us on every single level. Every level. How can he say 2 weeks sounds short, but it's better than what they had before? Like, the women are lucky. They should be lucky. The men and women should be lucky that we have 2 weeks. When I've never seen nothing like this ever in my life. Never. Never seen anything like this. Never. Utano is a coward for allowing this to happen, for even saying that. For even saying that, he's a coward. And this type of stuff makes me so upset, especially this whole dealing with COVID and how he allowed the MTA to make us work unsafe. It's crazy. Now, but let's dig a little deeper into what's going on here. Let's look into the makeup of the company. Maybe that's why women get treated the way they get treated on this job. Let's see why the MTA and the union leadership don't care. Let's look at the facts. Out of 9,635 women in New York City Transit, 8,054 are Black and Hispanic. That's an amazing number. That means the odds of a woman of color getting pregnant and not receiving an accommodation is very high. It's greater than any other race on this property. Maybe that's the reason why the women on this job get treated the way they do. And another stat, Black babies die at a higher rate than white babies when it comes to health in the healthcare field and pregnancies. This is another fact. That's also in the article. I didn't write the article, but it's in the Gothamist article. It's there. It's there. Let's bring up some more facts, because I see that people don't like the truth. And if you got a problem with the truth, that's on you. That's not on me. But let's look into some more facts, maybe why we get treated the way that we get treated. Since the MTA was created, the MTA was created in 1968. 1968, that's 52 years. Since the MTA was created, there has never been a person of color as the MTA chairman. Never was a woman either. But it never was a person of color in the 52 years here in the MTA. You trying to tell me that not one person of color is qualified to run this business? A business that seems it takes little to no common sense to run? Because the MTA can avoid a lot of their lawsuits if they just had common sense. Let's take a look at the MTA executives. And I'm talking about the real executive positions. I'm not talking about these general these general superintendents. I'm not talking about these chiefs, because they don't have a real seat at the table. This is a fact. 70,000 men and women work in the New York City Transit Authority. 56% of them are people of color. You trying to tell me there's not one seat at the table for a person of color here? Not one. Now, they got this one guy. His name is Mike Gardner, but they give him the, I don't even know what to call it, but it's a diversity officer. And it's not it has nothing to do with diversity with us. It's diversity to make sure that outside companies, Black businesses get businesses with the TA. Nothing to do with diversity of the workforce and the inner workings of the MTA and the employees. Nothing. So we literally don't have a seat at the table. We don't have a seat at the table. Maybe this is the reason we get treated the way we do. And before you guys go crazy and say, Tramel, like you always say, you know, other people work here too. You can't possibly be getting treated the way you treated because of your color of your skin. I'm going to keep telling you guys this. There's a such thing as collateral damage. In order for them to get most of us, some of you guys got to get caught too. And that's what the attacks on the working class is about, and the working poor. It's about attacking us first, and whoever get caught up in the mix of that, get swept up in the mix of it. That's what it's about. If it's not about that, let's talk about it. Let's debate it. Right here live on the show. If anyone feel that that information is wrong, let's talk about it. Information isn't wrong. Oh, boy. Just talking about these topics bother me. Talking about it bothered me. Matter of fact, speaking of the MTA board, let's get into this video that happened today. I need you guys to listen to this. Check it out.
Any questions for Anthony?
Pat, I do. Vinny Tessitore.
Commissioner.
I don't have a question. I have a comment. Listen, this is something that we do have control over, and this is something that we have to rethink for the future. And my intent is to discredit any individual or any member of any transformation team. But I just have to simply say we did not need a transformation team. We do not need a transformation team moving forward. We didn't need to expand our management base and seek outside help and reports to tell us what this agency is very capable of doing on its own. Headquarters has the ability to consolidate and organize as being experts in the transit and transportation industry. The agency leaders have sufficient teams to be able to clearly identify where there needs to be savings, and they've done it consistently. For this past year, there has been added stress throughout all the agencies amongst management to figure out ways of justifying which jobs are important and what jobs are necessary, who to cut, who not to cut. This was unneeded. And I mean it in the most respectful way. We need to manage our own place without expanding on our management team to do so. Perhaps these 2,700 bodies, that's a good news story, great, through attrition and through the effects of this horrific virus, but it wasn't necessary. It isn't necessary moving forward. The board has control over this. I think it's time that we slim down on this type of oversight and let the agency just focus on moving forward and rebuilding this place. The only positions that should be added are positions that are going to be here for the future to enable safety and service and growth and infrastructure, and when we have the money to do it. But this transformation, again, no disrespect, but it should be complete at this point, and we need to move on and take on the bigger battles ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner.
He's right. He's right. First of all, when someone say no disrespect, they mean disrespect. But he's right. The MTA is thinking about cutting our jobs and hurting us, but they bring in an outside company to do the work that they could do. And I spoke about this, I think, last week sometime, that the MTA is hiring consultants. Like, I think Sarah Feinberg said she works with talented people. If you work with so many talented people, then why do you have to go to outside consultants to do the work that these talented people should be able to do? I said this last week. You know, these guys be listening to my show and trying to steal, you know, what's going on over here. But I said the same thing that he said. And it makes absolutely no sense. No sense. And then you got this going on. The lies. You know, now they trying to blame this on Trump. Trump is not innocent in this. But they saying Trump pulling the funding for the cleaning. Now, let's be honest here. No cleaning, nobody is safe. This is the cleanest I ever seen these trains and buses. The system ain't clean, the system ain't safe, especially during these pandemic times. But how soon the MTA forget? How soon does the MTA forget? This is back in 2018. Since 2018, the MTA been cutting terminal car cleaners through attrition. They stopped overnight cleaning on the trains. For an example, D trains from Stillwell to 205th, back to Stillwell. There's only cleaners at Stillwell. By the time the train get up to the Bronx, it's filthy. By the time the train get back down to Coney Island, it looks like a landfill. They was cutting cleaners. They was talking about doing that since 2018, and they've been successful in doing it. The MTA don't have a care in the world. They don't care if these trains are clean or not. Now they playing politics with our lives like they've been doing. If the MTA would have kept staffing levels at the levels that they were supposed to have been kept at, kept all the overnight cleaners, replaced the cleaners who got promoted, went to other titles, or retired, we wouldn't even need contractors in the first place. We wouldn't be worrying about Trump. Let me pull that back up. We wouldn't be worried about Trump pulling funding for disinfecting the subways. We should be able to do that job ourselves. So what are they talking about? What are they talking about? The MTA is playing games with our lives. They are playing major games with our lives. And even with this, New York City subway crime rate spikes. Wow. New York Police Department arrests plummet. MTA big say safety concerns hurt ridership. Safety concerns hurt ridership. They right. Safety concerns do hurt ridership. But you know what make passengers not want to take the subway? If they keep hearing in the media that your workers are getting assaulted, that your workers are getting beat up, that your workers are getting stabbed, you know what passengers are thinking? If your workers aren't safe, then how can we be safe? That's what they thinking. So we need to address that problem. We are not safe on our jobs. We are not safe on our jobs. I won't go somewhere if employees were getting beat up and I'm expected to stay safe. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to do that. Who would go in a plane if you keep hearing that this particular airline is not protecting their pilots and people are making attempts to get into the cockpit or got into a cockpit? Would you fly that airline? Would you feel safe on that airline? That's where the problems lie at. The MTA not protecting us And passengers are afraid to take the system. They don't need to twist this around any other kind of way. This doesn't need to get twisted around any other kind of way. This is the truth. This is what it is. And then we got people who love to lie, who love to twist. And one of those guys, let me change this real quick. One of those guys is Tim Minton. If you ask me, he's a cold-blooded liar. Cold-blooded. Let me bring up this article so y'all can see why we made him into Pinocchio. So there was this whole situation on the Q train where Q train door had opened up while the train was moving. And Tim Minton, before he came to work for the MTA, he was okay. He was okay. I was familiar with his work. He was okay. But as soon as he came to work for this company, he turned to trash. Lying, trash. Cold-blooded liar this guy is. And make no mistake about it. None of the MTA, what you call them people, PR people, communications people, are here to tell the truth. They are here to tell the truth of the bosses, not what really goes on, and point fingers at everyone else for liability purposes. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care about nothing else. So for that whole Q train thing, this is what Tim Minton said. New York City's Transit's initial review concludes that this incident was likely caused by human error, specifically the door being improperly secured, spokesman Tim Minton said. See, when you have someone who don't know what they're talking about, don't know what's going on, don't know how these trains work, he wouldn't have said what he said. But he want to protect the MTA and point fingers at the humans, because the only humans that could be disciplined because of this are the low-level workers, the people that's the lowest on the totem pole. But if Tim Minton had any idea how these trains work, if a train door opens up, the train operator can't take power. That's just how it worked. If a train door open up, they can't take power. So how can it be human error? If the crew had solid indication inside their cabs, I know I'm talking train talk right now, but the people who's from subways know what we talking about, train crews. If the crew have solid indication and the train operator never lost power, how is that human error? That's why we made this meme of Tim Minton. He's a cold-blooded liar. None of these guys have the workers' best interest. The only time you would see these guys say something good about MTA workers is if they did something heroic or that's it. It's the only time they really say something about MTA workers, if they did some type of good duty in the eye of the public. It's the only time. This is the problem that's wrong. It's one of the problems that's wrong with this company. They hire people who don't know what's going on here. And I'm not talking about the PR people. I'm talking about the real executive positions, the people who you seen on that MTA board. That's the problem with this company. no accountability. The men and women lowest on the totem pole get the blame. It's never management fault. When the last time you ever heard it was management fault? When did management ever take responsibility for something they did? When was the last time? When was the last time? But we got some good news going on. We have a lawsuit against the MTA. Now I'm gonna play this video. I'm not gonna play the entire thing. I'm gonna play some of it. It's on YouTube in full, but I'm gonna play it to explain to you guys what the lawsuit is about. So let's check it out. What's going on, guys? This is Tramel from Progressive Action, and I'm here to fill you guys in on the major lawsuit we have right now against the MTA. Now, I know you guys been seeing me post in various groups about this lawsuit. I've seen a lot of speculation, and I'm here to end all the speculation right now. So this major lawsuit that I'm talking about is about wage theft. And it affects the train operator and the conductor in RTO, that's the subways. And to basically give you guys a little bit of what it's about. Basically, when we come into a terminal, dispatchers will clock the train, and we will get paid up until the train is clocked in. But after that train is clocked in, we still have duties to perform. So just to give you guys a little example. Train coming to the station. Let's just say that the dispatcher clocks the train in after the train dump. Don't we still have work to do after the train dump? Don't those train doors have to open? Don't they have to close? Don't we have to lock cab doors? We may encounter passengers that have questions on the platform, whatever the case may be. But that's all I'm going to give you guys on that. If you want to watch the full video, it's exclusively on YouTube. YouTube is the only place you can find that video. But it's a lot of stuff going on with us MTA workers. And I firmly believe two reasons why we're being treated the way we treated. First of all, I always said that the MTA is like its own government. And it's a microcosm of what the United States really is. We get treated the way we get treated because of the makeup of this company. The MTA don't keep the demographics and watch this data for their health. They don't do it. No company does it. And we get treated the way we treat it because of the class that we in, the working class, which makes up a whole bunch of different nationalities and other groups, things of that nature. These people hate people of color, and they hate the working class. And we even see that in our leadership as far as this agency is concerned. Pat Foy, he don't care about people of color. You've seen how dismissive he was the other day in the news regarding when they asked him about the mask situation and people of color being targeted. These people do not care. And until we start to care and we stand up, that's when things would change. Now, if you guys want to donate to the platform, you could donate via Cash App. Cash App is Progressive Action 100. You can also donate via PayPal. The PayPal is Progressive Action. It's very important that you guys donate. It helps a lot with the platform. This thing is not being run for free. Costs a lot of money to run and update equipment, just so we could bring to you guys quality information, a quality platform, doing the work of what the union is supposed to do. We take pride in everything that we do here at Progressive Action. We do it without looking for accolades. We put our careers on the line for workers. That's what we do. We are willing to be the targets for you. You guys must support us in some form or fashion. It's only right. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. We kept it short. I will be doing more videos, some exclusively. Oh, before I go, please subscribe to the YouTube page. The YouTube page. You see it right there. Subscribe to the YouTube page. The YouTube page is Progressive Action. We will be dropping exclusive videos on the YouTube page. Please watch the YouTube page. Pay attention to it. The YouTube page is going to be very big in a second. We're going to be giving exclusive information once again, strictly on the YouTube page. So I need you guys to please subscribe to our YouTube page, Progressive Action. I need you guys to do that. We will be doing free giveaways very soon, again in the near future. I normally give away free stuff. Sometime if I see people in the street, I give them a shirt if I have an extra shirt or whatever the case is. We will be doing giveaways on YouTube, so it's very important that you guys follow our YouTube page. The YouTube page will be expanding to topics beyond transit. I will be talking about different topics that's happening, and it may be music, it may be politics, but it's all tied in together with what we're fighting here. Because we're transit workers. We're not only fighting for better contracts, better work rules, respect, and things like that. We are fighting for issues that affect our community, that affect our neighborhoods, that affect our day-to-day lives. So it's very important that you guys tune in to the YouTube page. Trust me when I tell you. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's get this thing on the road. Support the platform. Support who supports you. And when we get together and we come together as one, we're going to be unstoppable. I promise you that. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show.